One thing to hone in on a little bit that you mentioned, the importance of jobs, the president's focus on jobs, and polling, including some of the polls that Third Way has done, has found that while most Americans support clean energy policies and they're excited about it and they understand the need to invest in clean energy to address climate change and everything else, we find that a lot of these people don't believe that their specific community will benefit or they will benefit. And as an elected official and now as secretary, you've really been known in part for your ability to understand what communities need and deliver results that resonate. How do we help skeptical Americans, including, as you alluded to, those with close ties to the fossil energy industries, feel like they and their communities will directly benefit from clean energy?
I so appreciate this. I mean, for those of you who are watching from Michigan, I was governor at a time when the auto industry was on its knees, right? When the industry and the suppliers to the auto industry went bankrupt, we were making a fossil fuel related product, which was the internal combustion engine. And people had the rug pulled out from under them through no fault of their own. And we went on to build car 2.0, which is the electric vehicle and the guts to that vehicle, which is the battery. And I completely understand why there is such anguish out there, because it's difficult to see yourself in a position that doesn't exist yet in your community, right? So we are laser focused on researching and developing, demonstrating, and deploying the kinds of clean energy technologies and sustainable building methods that are going to work everywhere. And there is an economic benefit for households in every pocket of the country, even beyond the prospect of new clean energy jobs, because this transition towards a cleaner, more sustainable future is going to mean that people save money. Actually, I mean, that's the most basic thing, right? How do you see this happen for you personally? Because it's in your pocketbook. I'm talking about, rooftop and community solar that result in lower energy bills for families, or weatherization and retrofits that increases homes' efficiency and decreases the amount you're going to pay on heating and air conditioning and electricity. And I'm talking about breaking down barriers, for example, to electric vehicle ownership, and not just expanding charging infrastructure, but that's an important piece of it, but also designing incentive programs so that the price tag goes down for at the point of purchase for an electric vehicle on the front end, so that it's comparable to the internal combustion engine, which, by the way, is all embedded in the American Jobs Plan. So it's also important to emphasize, I will say, in terms of how people feel it, the benefits, the health benefits of clean energy. Renewable power obviously means cleaner air and lower asthma rates, particularly in communities that are frontline communities in the shadows of power plants who are inhaling these small particulates that cause asthma. But I just want to say a word about the potential for jobs and economic growth, because in these energy communities, one thing I hope that stands out from this administration's first 100 days is our commitment to lifting those rural communities, those fossil communities, and industrial communities that have been challenged as well, that have been left behind. We are dead serious about doing everything humanly possible to make sure that this energy transition really does create opportunity for every community and lead to a more equitable economy. And so the jobs, after going through this incredibly painful process of losing thousands upon thousands of manufacturing jobs, the most I know in Michigan, the most transformative, effective solutions are the ones that are grounded in community. And this administration's approach is inclusive. We're going to give these folks a seat at the table and ask for their input about guiding decisions on place-based strategies. You can see that in our working group on coal and power plant communities that I mentioned. I was talking about rolling out $100 million in investments to retrain and rebuild jobs through carbon capture projects, through critical minerals extraction, through geothermal energy research, through environmental remediation, closing up those wells that are leaking methane, et cetera, community revitalization. And you can see in the American Jobs Plan, which proposes billions of dollars for these place-based strategies to bring every community along as we build this better economy. The American Jobs Plan calls, for example, for 25 demonstration projects in these distressed communities, 15 of them focused on decarbonized hydrogen, 10 on carbon capture retrofits in steel and cement and chemical plants, as well as power plants. These are all areas that people feel threatened they're going to lose their job and not have a place to go. So we're going to continue to pioneer these industries of the future, but we're going to do it in these communities, and we want to maintain the jobs in the short and medium term with skills matched work. So the capping oil wells that I just mentioned, reclaiming coal and hard rock mines, reducing methane leaks can all be done by people who are coal miners. For example, energy workers will be able to jump right into those. Sheet metal workers and people who are doing construction trades or laying of pipes. There's pipes that are CO2 pipes that are necessary for carbon capture, use and sequestration and hydrogen. Bottom line is, through the American Jobs Plan, we're going to design clean energy transition in a way that gives every community skin in the game.